The last piece then that I would transition kind of to a how so that we deepen the discussion somewhat, and we've already had 2 examples of people talking about it. In a top-down kind of militarized model with flow like this constantly, I think the way you move to an organizational change process, and we're doing it a bunch of places. I'll use Corona Norco as an example here of something that is going pretty well, but also I can get into the difficulties in the 2nd, 3rd year, right? I think you have to build some sort of a learning and collaborative place at the district level. Almost nobody does it. And the reason you have to do that is you have to have union and management someplace where they actually own the work, the place, all right, together. And I say that because of many years of going into these places as a consultant, and if you interview the union, they know all the bad stuff, and the management knows all the good stuff. And then you get them together in the room and you say, here's the reality, and they say, oh, that couldn't be. And you say, what do you mean? And they'll tell you again, all right, what they know is the reality, and they deny each other's reality. There is no place where these 2 powerful entities actually can say, this is where we are. Believe it or not, that simple journey early on of truth-telling about what's real, what is working and what isn't working, we have no venues for that. None at all. All right? None at all. You have to create this simply to get on the common ground. And it takes you about a year or 2 of truth-telling to take the risk, psychologically safe and so forth, to start talking straight around this. And my union sisters and brothers here, when we first get in here, the union comes, then it beats the crap out of the management early on. And the management doesn't quite know how to play that game. All right? They go off. No, they don't. They go off and they say, meow, 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 meow. All right? But they don't know in that moment how to say to Christy, I don't think that's right, and so forth. All right? So you first of all have to learn how to do this, and in the process you create some what. But the process of what they work on to your issue ought not come so much from here. I mean, we know but if you have a site structure that's authentic enough that it's got the principal and staff, support staff, and teaching staff chosen by them, so that this is also a collaborative we at the school site, and you drive it off of deep, good, all right, thoughtful PLC work, in which these folks are talking about pedagogy and results and so forth. And you then build a process of listening and learning together, all right, from the work itself and the men and women who do the work talking to each other, and you keep kind of trying to cultivate strength here, and you stay close to teaching and learning issues. And you have a place here where you say, how are we doing? You don't manage it. You listen and learn together how you're doing. And I add a piece because I think it's critical. You must learn how to talk to the whole system about what you're learning. You must learn to broadcast, to tell the story. This place always has a story about how it's doing, but in some senses they make it up, or they think the principal is in charge of that. You want a collaborative process saying, we just listened to this, the chemistry group and physics, and this is how we're engaging here, and we're missing this learner, and so we're talk truth-telling to everybody, short, 1 page, electronic. This is how we are learning together. When you do that, you create community. You have a collaborative process that grows and so forth. And this group here needs to start listening to those site structures. And the only question you want to ask when you visit them and so forth is, what are you learning? And what do we need to know and change here? So that you are building a counter-collaborative process of listening, learning, engagement, and accountability that goes to that first piece that changes. It comes out of here in a reverse process that comes here. But you must put this in place. And then your shift, your deep change, notice there's 2 changes. One is the change around kind of what you address and how you do it. But the deep shift is a process shift of the way you work together. The culture of working together, risk-taking, truth-telling, openness, and so forth. You can't learn that. All right? You can't learn that in a seminar. You must learn that in action, research, working and listening to each other in a healing way. The last piece is, early on, this work is healing work. And then by what I mean by that is, this thing doesn't want to do what it is you think it wants to do. Step up, take it, own it, move it. They want you to do it. And they want you to bitch about it. All right? Those are not full adult ways to live, but we get used to them. And so at least you left the opening to say, oh, how would you do this? Well, this is a way, structure.